Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and this time I'll be playing System Shock 2 Blind. I've played the first one recently, also for the first time, and unfortunately I wasn't really that enamored by it. But then again, I only played it in the first place because of all the praise I've heard for the second one, which is this one, and I wanted to experience sort of the whole package. So I very much expect a lot of improvement on the first game, and even the first game had some elements that were pretty cool. Mostly Shodan as an antagonist was pretty great. Now about System Shock 2, I did play a little of it, but it was really a long time ago. I don't remember any specifics, and I never got that far. So I consider this a blind playthrough because I have not watched any Let's Plays or walkthroughs or guides. So it's just going to be my unfiltered experience with the game, figuring stuff out as it goes. So without further ado, I wonder if intro is going to play upon the new game, or am I supposed to play it here? Well, I guess I'll start a new game, and because it didn't play before, so I guess it'll play automatically, and it just gives me an option to replay it. Now about difficulty, I think I'm going to go with hard, because I do enjoy a challenge in games, but then again, impossible is probably pushing it for the first attempt. The first game already had moments that were kind of demanding, although it was quickly mitigated by the mechanic of the restoration stations, which basically meant that you got unlimited resurrection as long as you activated them. So I wonder if something similar will return in this game, or is it like one death and you reload the game, a more classical approach. But anyway, I'll choose hard and start the game.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? In 2072, a rogue artificial intelligence known as Shodan lost her mind. In her limitless imagination, Shodan saw herself as a goddess, destined to inherit the earth. That image was snuffed out by the hacker who created her.
February 3rd is the day the magic happens. The Von Braun, the first starship in history capable of traveling at faster than light speed, will undertake her maiden voyage. This incredible journey is the result of teamwork between the UNN Protectorate and the incredible scientific minds at the newly relicensed Tri-Optimum Corporation. Imagine being able to travel to distant star systems in a period of weeks. It's all part of Tri-Op's commitment to the future. The Von Braun is packed with over 1.8 billion flight, scientific, and security systems, nearly all developed by Tri-Optimum and its wholly owned subsidiaries. Providing security for the Von Braun as she plows through the heavens will be the UNN Rickenbacker. At her helm will be no less than Captain William Bedford Diego himself, hero of the Battle of Boston Harbor during the Eastern States Police action. This incredible union of government and corporation is made possible by an intricate series of docking mechanisms that will allow the Rickenbacker to piggyback its way into jump space. Sleek, fast, revolutionary. Who knows what wonders await our crews in the bosom of the cosmos? All we do know is that it's a great day for mankind.
As a UNN Von Braun, we've been hijacked by an unknown force. Ship security has been compromised. Do not allow the ship... Repeat, do not allow the ship to leave under any circumstances. I don't know what we're up against here.
Okay, so already a couple of interesting points were brought up in this intro over there. First of all, it was interesting that the narration mentioned that Shodan was originally defeated by the, quote, same hacker that created her, which is weird because I don't think it was ever established in the first game that the hacker we played as the protagonist was actually credited with designing Shodan as it is, although I guess he can be credited with like metaphorically creating her because he unlocked the like he unlocked her sort of moral restraints, which caused her to went insane and homicidal. So I guess that was the true birth of Shodan as we know her. So I guess it was just a metaphor, or a mental shortcut as it is. But then another thing, Tri-Optimum is apparently still around and quite influential, seeing how they just launched their first faster than light speed starship, which is interesting to me also because one would think such a huge fiasco as the one with the Citadel station in the first one would kind of hurt their reputation, not to mention the resources, because the damage done to the space station must have been quite substantial. But then again, it's probably not that easy to bring down a globe-spanning super corporation. And then the last thing, they mentioned that the captain of the sister ship, the Rickenbacker, that is traveling as protection for the von Braun, his surname was Diego, so I wonder if he's related to Edward Diego from the first game, the guy that basically started the whole deal. I guess we'll probably learn more as we go. And now the last thing I forgot to mention earlier. I'm using a couple of mods. Those are strictly graphical upgrades like textures and stuff. Something to spice things up because the game is an older one. But I'm using no mods that would change gameplay or otherwise change the story or otherwise change how the game plays. So with that being said, I think I can start the game proper.
Welcome to the Ramsey Center UNN recruitment facility. Please watch your step when leaving the train. The grav shafts at the end of the hall will take you to the street-level training and recruitment center. Please proceed to the grav shafts.
So I guess the first area here is like a tutorial. We can see some live humans, which is a marked difference from the first game, in which during the whole game you never met anyone who was alive. That's quite a sharp texture right there. Terrestrial coal, interplanetary coal. So apparently we've settled other planets. Now this probably makes sense, seeing how the last game the Citadel was orbiting Saturn and mining there, but I guess it didn't specify if it was settled as well. I guess I can't call anyone. UNN training and recruitment. So I guess we're a soldier. Sonic Tooth. Well, let's go to the... Although, I'm kind of curious. High voltage. Kind of curious if I can wander anywhere. There doesn't seem to be a way to open any of those vents. Now what? I'm going to save and try to... Okay, I guess... that is indeed dangerous. Well,
Step into the grav shafts to proceed to the street level recruitment.
apparently the grav shafts also make a return from the first game. It's a pretty weird form of transportation, but I guess it fits the overall atmosphere of the game. Happy Noodle. Can we get some fast food maybe? Apparently not. Appetizers. Well, just some posters for bands and other cultural events.
Before you choose your career, you'll want to learn some basic abilities. First, you should go into the basic training center. When you're done with basic training, proceed to the advanced training area.
Well, okay, I'm going to do just that. UNN starts with you. That's quite a nice slogan. Thinking Men's Army, O.S.A. Well, let's go into the basic training then.
To pick up some basic skills you'll need to get by in the service, enter this CyberLink booth. Inside, you'll learn the basic skills you'll need to get started.
I guess the cyberspace.
Welcome, trainee. While you're in our virtual training courses, we provide you with a simulated cyber interface. This training interface is identical to an actual military-grade cyber interface. Now, let's try it out. Move the mouse. See how it changes where you look? That means you're in shoot mode. Hit the tab key. This puts you in use mode, where you can use your mouse to interact with items in the world. Open your primary MFD, or multifunction display, by clicking on the MFD button near the bottom of the screen. This display shows your strengths in various areas. When you're ready to continue, press the tab key to go back to shoot mode. Try changing between modes until you get the hang of it. Follow the red path along the ground to the next training station.
Wow, so already there are quite a lot more options here regarding the the skills of your character and whatnot, and the sort of RPG progression. And then in the first game you have various attributes. Psionics, interesting. Various skills. It's pretty extensive. Wow, those are a lot of psionic powers you get there. And there are different levels as well. Interesting.
To pick up items, center them on your screen and right-click. This will automatically place that item into your inventory. To view your inventory, press the tab key. You can move items around your inventory by left-clicking and dragging them around. To drop an item, drag it from your inventory into the 3D view and release the mouse button.
Now, while I'm a pretty big fan of integrating the tutorial into the world of the game, such as it is in this case, where you actually attend a boot camp of sorts and get trained in the various skills, and it's framed as part of the story, I think there is a kind of a disconnect between that idea and your instructor actually referring to actual elements of the UI and the control scheme, like he's literally instructing you to click the mouse button or something. I guess it can be partially excused in the AI department, I mean the UI department, because you could say that the user interface is actually a part of your, like, a neural implant or something. Just something I wanted to mention.
To use items like buttons in computers, center them in your view and click the right mouse button. All usable items will have brackets around them. Highlight the button on the pillar and right-click. This will activate the lift. Try it out. If you can still see your inventory display, it means you're in use mode. Hit Tab to return to shoot mode.
Yeah, I get it. Actually, this game already controls a lot better than the first one. It's a lot more smoother, and the way you move around the world, and for example, I can crouch just by using a single key, whereas in the first game you actually had to go back to the static mode, then click on, like, your character icon. It was really clumsy and weird.
The object before you is a med hypo. Pick it up and then press Tab to go into use mode. Right-clicking on the med hypo will use it and restore some needed hit points. Your hit points are displayed by a bar in the lower left corner of your screen. Many objects in your inventory can be used by right-clicking on them.
Okay. Wow, it heals me over time. For a second there I was thinking that the hypo only healed 2 hit points, which would be a little ridiculous.
See the crate in front of you? To search it, center it on your screen and right-click. If you are in use mode, simply move the pointer to the crate and right-click. To take an item from that container, simply left-click on it. This will automatically place that item in your inventory. To close the container window and return to shoot mode, press the Tab key.
Apparently we'll be also completing our own periodic table collection or something of elements. It's probably used for the crafting or something. Used to apply current research.
One of the most important tools you have as a soldier is your PDA. This device stores audio logs, emails, and other useful information. Click on the disk icon near the bottom of your screen to bring up the PDA display. Currently, the contents of your PDA are empty. Now pick up the audio log in front of you.
So the audio logs also make a return.
This message is coming from the audio log you just picked up. You can use your PDA at any time to play any audio log or email you've received. In the field, the PDA is also used for keeping track of your current mission objectives and obtaining help information.
Okay. Actually, which button was it? Cyber modules, nanites, research? Nope. So where do I click to? Okay, it's here. Okay.
Now it's time to learn about jumping and mantling. To jump, simply press the space bar. Some surfaces can be mantled onto by holding down the space bar. Mantling lets you pull yourself up to ledges and other high places in front of you. Give it a try.
Okay, that's actually a brilliant improvement over how the first game worked in that regard. It's really something that feels natural and sort of necessary, but it's not present in all games, especially not the first-person kind. Yeah, that feels great.
To climb a ladder, simply walk into it and look upward. You'll automatically start climbing the ladder.
Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. So I guess that's all for the basic training.
You've done well. Remember, if you're unclear on any aspect of what you've just learned, you can repeat the training as often as you wish.
Nah, I think I'm good. It's an interesting looking robot.
If you've completed basic training, you're ready for the advanced lessons provided here. Advanced training will familiarize you with the 3 key areas of military service: weapons training, technical training, and psionics training. Approach the Cyberlink booth of your choice to train in that area. When you finish training in the 3 areas, proceed directly to the recruitment center to choose and start your military career.
Wow, that's actually pretty extensive, the amount of tutorializing they are doing here, but also the amount of options. I imagine it showcases like possible play styles, so I'm going to walk into all of them, obviously.
Alright, wannabe. If you want to learn the weapon skills it takes to even think about joining the Marines, come on in. We're looking for a few good men. Good to have you on board. You'll notice when you're in the Cyberlink booth, the UNN has kindly provided you with a virtual cyber interface and all the simulated skill levels you'll need for the training tasks. But don't get too cocky. They'll disappear once you leave the booth.
So I guess we get like an artificial training for our abilities.
Now we'll teach you how to handle a firearm. Pick up the pistol and the clip from the table. You can equip the weapon in one of 2 ways. Bring up your inventory and drag the pistol to your weapons equip slot near the right-hand side of your inventory. If that's too slow for you, you can use the hotkeys on the keyboard. Press 2. If the pistol was in your inventory, it will equip for you automatically. To lock and load the ammo clip, hit the R key or hit the reload button on the lower right corner of your screen. Once you've loaded the firearm, take a shot at the dummy robot by pressing your left mouse button when in shoot mode. Notice how its health bar gets shorter as you chip away at it.
Okay, that's also a marked improvement over the first game, and the fact that I can just reload by pressing R, which is so basic and so self-explanatory that I couldn't believe that it wasn't a feature in the first game, but well, it wasn't, so I appreciate that it is here. Yeah, that's definitely a lot better.
Some items need to be charged with energy before they can be used. Pick up the laser pistol. Now use the recharging station nearby. The recharge station will juice up all of your energy-based items. Weapons, batteries, you name it.
Okay, so that's also kind of similar to the first game. There were also instances of weapons that used energy instead of ammo. That's a nice looking, sleek energy pistol there.
Weapons are not fine wines. They do not get better with age. The colored dot on the lower right corner of the screen tells you what kind of shape your firearm is in. Green is good, red is bad. To fight the effects of wear and tear, a soldier with maintenance skill can use a maintenance tool to improve the condition of his weapon. Just pick up the tool, open your inventory, and drag the tool onto your pistol. Remember that maintenance tools are only good for a single use.
Okay, so I guess repair the regular pistol. Is that all for this section? guess so.
Good work. Now you're ready for the Marines. Take a look at the other training areas first before you enlist. They might just come in handy.
Yeah, sure. I just completed a 5-minute training exercise that didn't even feature any moving targets, but now I'm suddenly ready for the Marines.
Inside, we'll teach you the basics of some technical skills you'll need in the Navy.
Okay.
Welcome. You'll notice when you're in the Cyberlink booth, we'll provide you with a temporary cyber interface and the skills you need to accomplish the training tasks. But they'll only last so long as you're in the booth. The object in front of you is a container of nanites. Nanites are consumed whenever you perform technical tasks, such as hacking or repairing. When you pick up the container of nanites, they do not go in your general inventory, but are instead displayed in use mode on the bottom left of your screen. Walk over to the keypad by the door and try out hacking. Use the keypad by right-clicking on it. To the right of the number pad, you'll see an orange tab labeled Hack. Left-click on the tab. Text will appear indicating the difficulty of the hack and any bonuses that apply. Click on the Start button to begin hacking. You'll see a grid of nodes. Clicking on a node will either turn it bright or dark. To successfully hack, you must connect 3 bright nodes in a straight line. Beware the ice nodes with the red outlines. If one of these turns dark, you fail the hack, and you might break the item you're working on or worse. You can restart your hack attempt at any time by hitting the reset button, though you'll have to pay the nanite cost again.
Okay. So do I start at any point or?
Security access compromised. Security access compromised.
Okay, I don't quite see the the purpose of this, because if you see which tiles are the faulty ones, I'm not sure what's stopping you from just choosing some completely other area and just click 3 times and that's it. So I'm really not sure what's the point of that minigame, but guess I'll figure it out eventually. Like I also assume that this one is like purposefully easy or something. So kind of weird. Can I? Oh, so it does make a difference. Okay, so I have no idea actually how this works now, because they all seem to look the same apart from this one. So how do I...
Security access compromised. Security access compromised.
Yeah, I have very little idea on how that works actually, which is worrying because in the first game...
You can use nanites to buy items from replicators. To use a replicator, right-click on it, then left-click on the item you wish to purchase. The item you purchased will drop into the slot below. Make sure you pick up your purchases before you leave.
In the first game I had a similar problem that I never really figured out how the puzzles were supposed to work. Maybe I'm just stupid. It's interesting that the nanites are used both as a technical tool and as a currency. It's kind of weird. It's like if you used screws or I don't know, nails as currency. But then again, I guess it's not a shop. It's called a matter replicator, so maybe it uses the nanites to actually create the items you want on the spot, which is really impressive, if you think about it.
Hi there. Please make your selection.
Oh, that's a really strange selection of items. You know, a bottle of juice, a bag of chips, and a pack of standard bullets. Sure. Actually, let's try the hacking again. I still don't get it.
Hi there. Please make your
Replicator database
selection.
reinitialized.
Ah, so it gives me a different roster of items.
Thank you for choosing Value Wrap. Thank you for choosing Value Wrap.
Okay, so I guess that's all for this part.
You learned the basics of the technical skills. There are several other technical skills you'll learn throughout the course of your career, such as repairing items and modifying weapons. The cyber interfaces for these tasks are similar to the hacking interface. Before you enlist in the Navy, try out the other training courses. They'll be useful.
So now the psionics.
Inside, you will learn how to reach out with your mind. Do not let fear block your path.
Okay.
We've provided you with a virtual interface and the temporary ability to project simulated psionic powers. Once you leave this area, these powers will be lost to you. The red bar at the lower left of your screen tells you how many psi points you have. Psi points symbolize the current ability to use your psi powers. Psi hypos replenish your psi points. Try using a psi hypo and watch your psi points increase. When you've reached your maximum in psi points, move to the next station.
Do I have like a quick use bar or something? Implant armor. I don't think so.
This psi amp amplifies your psi powers and lets you project them into the real world. To equip it, pick it up, and then hit the tilde key. Firing the psi amp activates your currently selected psi discipline. You currently have access to 2 disciplines, cryokinesis and kinetic redirection. Go into use mode and click on the arrows on the bottom right of the screen. This will cycle through your available psi disciplines. Later, clicking on the arrows above the number to the left will allow you to select psi disciplines from higher tiers. Use cryokinesis to destroy the robot and kinetic redirection to pull that nanite container towards you. Be careful. Holding down the mouse button can augment the power, but holding it down for too long will cause burnout, which will damage you. If you run out of psi points, use another psi hypo.
Okay, a couple of points here now. First of all, the psi amplifier looks like a really creepy tool because it seems to be, I guess, directly interfaced with probably my nervous system or something. He just plugged it casually into his arm, but also, does he rip it out every time he doesn't use it? Seems a little inconvenient and a little grotesque, if you ask me, but then again, it's probably also the most interesting path that I've been shown now, so I think I'm going to invest in the psionic powers just because they seem to be the most unusual. Pretty cool. Oh, and the cost of those cryokinetic bolts is actually pretty low. If you look at my psi level, the psi points, it only goes by 1 with every bolt, and comparatively they seem pretty strong because it took me like 5 shots with the pistol to destroy the similar, or actually the same robot earlier, but this time it only takes 2 cryokinetic bolts, so interesting. There's also psi pull, which I guess is like basically telekinesis. Accompanied by a pretty cool sound effect. Well, I guess I'm sold. I'm joining the psychic corps or something.
Mastery of the mind is a slow but rewarding process. Return to this area if you need more guidance. Before you enlist in the O.S.A., it would be useful to experiment in the other training courses.
Ah, so that's what the poster was about earlier. The O.S.A., the Thinking Men's Army, it's their like psychic corps recruitment center.
Here's where you make your choice, soldier. Here's where you enlist in one of the 3 branches of the military. Once you decide on your branch of service, there's no going back. A shuttle will take you to a UNN orbital space station, where you'll receive a briefing regarding your yearly postings. Good luck.
Okay, so I guess I have a choice between the Marines, the Navy, and the O.S.A. The Marines being presumably concentrated on weapon skill, the Navy on technical skill, and the O.S.A. on psychics. So, as I said, the psychic abilities seem to be the most unique to me, and thus also the most interesting. That's why I'm going to choose this one. That's the Earth. Well, any comments from the command or something? It's awfully quiet over my comlink. Hmm. 0.9 G, so the gravity is a little bit lower here than on Earth. Okay. Yes. Year 1. So am I going to... is it going to simulate a whole career for me? Ix ullatam inqua pax, quin bello vella quisimo sit putior. Unfortunately, I have no idea what that says, apart from pax being peace and bello being some form of bellum, which is war. Sid is so. Yeah, I can't read it, unfortunately. Here's the Earth again. So we're somewhere over Asia. And apparently there's traffic going outside. Although it's not that heavy.
The O.S.A. welcomes you to Orbital Station Chunlo. Ready yourself to feel the limitations of your mind slipping away. We will guide your path over the next 4 years. The shuttle bays at the center of the station will ferry you to your next stage of growth. When you've chosen, head into the appropriate shuttle bay. Get ready to learn things you've never imagined.
Yeah, so I guess it's going to simulate like a whole tour of duty for me. They just said I'm going to have a 4-year tour of duty, so Christmas party, the sign-up sheet available. So I guess we're nearing Christmas time. So apparently I do get a choice.
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Chu-Lun are modulated for your training. You shall spend a year in contemplation of mass, both yours and that of objects, until you can bend them to your intentions.
So I guess it would give me some more telekinetic ability or something.
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Runang await you. A year in meditation on the nature of matter will grant you power over it.
Ah, it says up there. What do I get?
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Shaoling await you. There you will spend a solitary year focused in a meditation on motion and sound, and how they may serve your will.
Okay, but it's actually pretty nonsensical that apparently I can't access my skills at the moment, so I don't have an idea of what those particular psi skills even do, and I can't check it at the moment because my MFD is blocked. I can't access it. I'm clicking tab and nothing happens. So I guess I'm just going to choose at a hunch.
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Chu-Lun are modulated for your training. You shall spend a year in contemplation of mass, both yours and that of objects, until you can bend them to your intentions.
So this said cryokinesis and psychoreflective screen. Now cryokinesis is that basic bolt ability we've seen in the tutorial.
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Runang await you. A year in meditation on the nature of matter will grant you power over it.
So this gives me cryokinesis and kinetic redirection, which is the telekinesis power.
The sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Shaoling await you. There you will spend a solitary year focused in a meditation on motion and sound, and how they may serve your will.
Okay, this one said psychic, cryogenic cyber affinity or something. So from the sound of it, I would say it's like amplified hacking or something to this effect. But seeing how I don't know any of those others skills, I'm going to go with the kinetic redirection, the telekinesis skill. It seems to be vaguely useful, you know, reaching items that are hidden in a place you can't reach with your hands. So
the sensory deprivation tanks aboard the TOS Runang await you. A year in meditation on the nature of matter will grant you power over it.
Okay. So I also got an overall upgrade and access to level 2 in psionic powers.
Your body has been neglected in your training of your mind. On Io, you will find soldiers who wish to test their endurance. You will surpass their physical prowess without compromising your mental discipline.
Okay, so this gives me +2 endurance.
Dr. Chandrisvalan's research labs have produced many of this decade's advances in psionic technique. You shall spend a year serving his genius, learning to understand his insights and whims. Sifting the thoughts of treachery and disloyalty from the morass of emotion and internal conflict that fill most mundanes can be disquieting. You shall spend a year building the general strength of your mind, while learning how to probe the thoughts of the less capable without losing yourself.
Okay, so I'm kind of torn between +2 to psionic abilities and +1 research. Research seems like something that could be useful to complement the psionic skills, but then again, if not +2 to my major main skill, it's also potentially useful, especially if the level ups actually increase in cost. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this one.
Sifting the thoughts of treachery and disloyalty from the morass of emotion.
So apparently a hired assassin already tried to kill me, which is a little disquieting, seeing how I haven't even finished my training. But maybe she was like maybe she was like a decoy to test my abilities or something.
Many threats to security can only be defeated from inside. Your mind shall be carefully blanked and conditioned with the nature and past of a criminal. Join with the criminal and rebellious, endure their squalor and chaos, and then, when it is time, liquidate them from within.
Wow, that's pretty dark, you know, going undercover in a gang, spending time with them, learning how they think, and then destroying them from within.
In the grand scheme, individuals are no more important than pieces on a game board. Occasionally, it becomes necessary to remove a piece without disturbing the flow of the game. These removals will be done in silence and with complete secrecy. You shall spend a year learning these skills. Acts of political terrorism and corporate coercion disturb corporate and political stability. You shall spend a year battling these chaotic elements, both psionically and by physical force.
Okay, again, I have no idea what those various abilities do because I can't check it with my MFD being blocked, so that's a major oversight on the part of the developers, I think. I'm just going to choose the anti-terrorism one because why not? And hope it's something good. Psiogenic agility. So I guess maybe it's a way to amplify my agility by using psi points? Not sure. I'm going to learn that eventually.
Reinitializing memory strings. Restoring patient memory. Restoring memory. Restoring memory.
Steady yourself, soldier. This is Dr. Janice Polito of the computer ops staff of the Von Braun. You're safe for the time being. You're recovering from the effects of surgery and will be unable to remember any of the events of the last few weeks. You're on board the starship Von Braun and something's gone very, very wrong. Some kind of force has hijacked this ship. That's why you volunteered to be implanted with some experimental cybernetic implants. Rely on your cyber interface. It just might save your life. You must find an elevator and come up to Deck 4 to meet me. Deck 4. Can you remember that? But keep your eyes open. They're after us both now. Watch out. I'm getting strange readings from that radar dish outside the window. It's become unstable due to... Move! Take cover!
Okay, I just want to find some safe space to rest for a second. A wrench. Well, I guess I can stay in this corner for a moment. Now, I guess that concludes the tutorial where we have been enlisted to go on the Rickenbacker, and obviously something has gone wrong. Now, the beginning here with us waking from surgery and waking up to the nightmare of something having gone horribly wrong is awfully reminiscent of the first game, almost to the point of being exactly the same situation. So, especially with the fact that we've been implanted with this special neural interface, which is exactly the thing that happened to the first game's protagonist as well. So I wonder how that will differ in the long run in terms of story. Now, this game already controls a lot better than the first one did. It's a lot more fluent and responsive, and also the fact, the simple quality of life things such as being able to reload by just clicking R instead of, rummaging through different windows and actually manually clicking on the reload button. Those really make a difference. I'm especially curious about the skill system. It seems pretty extensive and interesting, so I'm really curious to see what it has to offer. But for now, I'm going to save. And that's going to be all for this episode, so see you in the next one. Bye.